Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Real Talk episode 3, man. So far, so good with this podcast. We're getting some nice feedback, and everything's just going awesome. I am the Brett, man. This is Brad. We're from Good Real Hunting. This is like our interview podcast where we have real conversations. So, Brad, I saw you've been doing the RFD over there.
You saw that? Yeah, dude. It's
Monday. The whole damn
show
over there. How are you doing?
I did.
Bud?
Oh, man, I'm good. How are you, man? I'm excited to get another Real Talk episode in, man.
Dude, man, yeah, I cannot wait to have a real talk with our special guest today, which you can already tell who it is if you're watching on the YouTube side of things. But you could also be listening to the podcast side of things where we're on Spotify, Apple Pod, and Podbean. Or like I said, you can watch us on YouTube. We do have a podcast playlist, so we're in the podcast universe on YouTube as well. So, Brad, I'm not going to waste any more time, man, because very excited to have this guest on. I have interacted with him over at Fachi Cinema a couple of times, and I've also was a part of his series on his YouTube channel as well. He did an interview with me, so I think I told him that in the future we will bring him on for an interview. This is that time. We are going to bring him on, one half of Sledgehammer Horror. Brilliant. Let's welcome Ken Sledge. Yeah, hopefully I didn't break your ears there, Ken.
No, that was legit, man. I feel like I should come up with some flashy intro. You'll get the going on.
Man, if you're on those Apple stuff, I could just...
Yeah.
Okay, I did do that today. So, I'm already embarrassing myself. So, Ken, my friend, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be here with you guys. Big fan. Always really, really dug what you guys did. So, it's really cool to actually be a part of this Real Talk now.
Yeah, it's absolutely, especially this early on too. So, hey, that horror couple really set the standard here, and then Davey knocked it out of the park, and we have look at that. He loves that.
Horror. The hat, nice, good, nice rep.
I'm in love with both of them. So, two
of
my very best friends.
Oh no, they were so awesome, man. They were so awesome. We were glad that the honor to them to be episode 1. Again, they are that horror couple, while you and Ash are the horror couple. Don't tell our friends over at Fear Freaks we said that, or I said that, but man, again, we're so honored to have you here. So let's go ahead and just have some fun. We got some questions for you just to get to know you a lot better. But before, actually, you know what? One question before we get to know you, because I always ask our guests this question. How did you hear about Good Real Hunting? And once you found us for the first time, what was your first impression of us?
Actually, I heard of you guys. I want to say we collabed together on accident on one of the award shows, and then
yes,
I everybody on the award show, I reached out to them, and I want to say it was the Horror Hour, I want to say, or Horror Addicts TV maybe, and we did an award ceremony together, and I reached out to everybody that was on there, and then we just started collabing after that, and then either that or it was Destiny Faulkner that introduced me to you guys. And then I wanted you guys on the show, and then just kept talking to you. Like I said, we hung out with Matt Fauci and just kept going from there.
Nice, man. And and that's what I got several requests, when I was asking around for hey, who would be a really good presenter for the Real Horror Awards? Of course, that horror couple is going to tell me that Ken and Ashley from Sledgehammer Horror, absolutely wonderful people to bring on, and we absolutely did that. And of course, you all did the absolute most professional video of all time. I said, gosh, if only me and Brad were that professional.
We're never that good. I thought you guys did. You did a fantastic job with it. We've never done anything that cool.
Dude, that was awesome though. The Real Horror Awards was great. I got to give it up to Robbie and Kaylee, man. They were singing Eddie Money on there, and it was awesome, man. I got to give it up to them, man. Like I said, they're really good friends of mine, and on a personal level, I'm not talking YouTube and all that, because I know a lot of people look and see we collab and stuff, but I try to genuinely be friends with everybody that we collab with. And, that's the best part of this community to me, is the fact that, we all grew up as weird, we were all weird and different, but here even though, yes, we're still weird and different, we have people that relate to that and they identify with that. And it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, trans, Jewish, Christian. The minute you're in this community, you're accepted and you're loved. And that's what I love about it. We don't care about, what you are. We care about who you are. The other stuff doesn't matter. As long as you're a sweet, kind person, that's all we care about. We don't care about the icing. We care about the cake. And that's what I absolutely love about this community.
Or the brownie.
Yeah, damn it, Brady. Damn it, that's coming later. Yeah, but that's true, man. We all have different backgrounds, we're all, different styles of people, but we all have this horror stuff in common in this community, and it's awesome. It's always something we can talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I'm afraid to ask another question because you freaking just see already out of the park already. You just nailed it. So I'm kind of scared to ask all these other questions, but I'm gonna try my best here. That was a great start. But yes, getting to know you and Ashley that are doing Sledgehammer Horror and all that. So I was kind of curious. Let's go all the way back to the beginning here. What was the influence on creating this channel that is Sledgehammer Horror?
Okay, it started when I was about 5. I know that sounds like a joke, but it's not. So I grew up in a mom and pop video store, and my mom and dad, they owned a video store called Downtown Video when I was growing up, and horror movies were always super, super special and important to me. And from the time I was probably 10 on, like my first horror movie, like, yeah, it's a podcast I do now, but it was like a icebreaker for me. We'd be at parties or out at bonfires. I'd be like, so what was the first horror movie you watched, man? Like, what got you started with horror? And like, that's where it kind of curated from, was like just, hanging out and me being this weird, awkward person. Like that was like I was always outgoing. Don't get me wrong. But like, I grew up in a very conservative town where horror, and I grew up very punk rock. And that wasn't like the cool thing, so like icebreakers for me were really hard. So when I found people that I associated with that kind of were on the same level, that's what I would do, is start that. And then, like I said, I did that for a long time with friends and people I would meet. And then Ashley was like, once, the pandemic hit, she was like, you should try to do this as a podcast. And I was like, yeah, it's never going to happen. And I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. You know what? One of the first people I actually reached out to, I've always been a huge fan of the band Coheed and Cambria. And I reached out to Coheed's drummer, Josh, really early on because I knew that he was really big into horror movies. And he was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And I was like, no way. And then like that, like totally gave me the confidence that was like, you know what, let's do this, let's really, really attempt this. And 560 episodes later, here we are. And it's funny because it started as just my first horror movie. That's all it was. That's all Sledgehammer Horror was. And Ashley kept coming up with these ideas, like Didn't See That Coming was Ashley's idea. Versus was Ashley's idea. And she was coming up with these ideas. And I was like, I will only do these if you do them with me. Like, that's it. And Ashley's super introverted. Like, she does not like to be in front of the camera. She's more of a behind the scenes person. And finally I broke her down. Like, she was like, fine, I'll do one episode. We'll see how it goes. And I never let her go back since.
How did you talk her into it? Because I've been trying to get my wife to do a show for I don't know how long. I mean,
it genuinely took about 6 months to get her to finally just be like, if you look at me and you look at Ashley, you'll see I'm very persuasive. That's just how it is. Like, I'm very good with words. I'm very good at talking. And, I just reassured her. I mean, I never lied. I just reassured her, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny, you're articulate, you can talk, you're educated. And she's so...
Let me write this down real quick.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I got to take some notes too. Dang, yeah, no wonder I've been single for 34 years.
She's super intelligent, man. Like, I'm so lucky. Like, for those that don't know, Ashley and I, we got married in high school. We've been married 19 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, she's my best friend. And she's so smart. Like, if you watch anything we do on the channel that's not my first horror movie, anything that's scripted, Ashley wrote. Like, she writes everything. I never read it. I never I never like proofread anything. I'm just like, you write it, I'll read it off a prompter, we'll do whatever we got to do. And the proof's in the pudding. If you go back, everybody that's watching, to our sinister episode of Didn't See That Coming, we talked about the movie Sinister, and she put a joke in the script that I had never read beforehand. And I'm reading the script during the during the recording, and I just start laughing so hard. Like, it was a real genuine laugh. And I left it in the episode because I wanted people to see that, like, this, and you can see by my face, this was not a staged, planned thing. She wrote a joke into the script. I didn't read it, and I was reading, and I just busted up laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. Like, it took me a minute to recompose myself.
Gone too far. I'm burning this shit. I'm done. Tracy walks out asking him what he's doing. He tells her we have to leave now, get the kids while I stand here and do nothing. Oh my gosh, I wonder who wrote this script. Okay, I'm sorry, that took me by surprise. That's hilarious.
So well, it's just like he was like, get the kids now while you're watching the fire. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't read that ahead of time, and that really, really took me by surprise. So, okay. I'm sorry. Let me get back on track here. Ashley asked where we're going.
And I think that's why this YouTube journey got so much more fun after she had decided to come on, because she's so smart, and the way that she writes is so easy. Like, sometimes, like, it's hard to read how other people think, you know, like the way that they write or their personality when they're writing doesn't translate over to you. I've had that problem before. Like, even the way I write doesn't translate over to other people, but we're so connected, like, through our souls, that it's so easy to just sit down in front and just read what she writes. It just comes so naturally and so smooth. So I'm so blessed when it comes to the partner that I have in life and the channel. Like, I'm so lucky.
Brad, why can't we be that, like, connected, man? Like, what the hell's your problem over there? We've been doing this for 4 years, and they already figured it out in, like, no time.
I'll tell you what, though, if you write me a damn joke that's funny, I'll
I write you puns all the time. It's not my fault that you quit reading them because I annoy you so much with them. My God Almighty. Like, I like, come on, man. Like, I'm the pun king. Like, you know, like, come on.
That's
Brad.
true.
But you know what? It's not about us, though. But though, Ken, that's so awesome. And I could kind of relate to, like, your story a little bit because, like, it took Brad forever to get me to not only watch a horror movie, which, gosh, that's a story all by itself. Which, Ken, I told you that story when I was on one of your episodes of my first horror movie. And it was just, Brad's like, we play Xbox all the time. So we talked about all the time about horror movies and our opinions on it. And that's when Brad said, we should do a podcast on that. And I'm like, nah. And then it was his bachelor weekend, right during the pandemic and all that. And he's like, hey, can we now do it? I'm like, fine, let's do it. And yeah, definitely changed my life just because of all the people I've interacted with. And definitely I could just tell from the story that you told between you and Ashley, like, that's so inspiring. I know where I definitely get one of my role models for YouTube. Like, definitely you and Ashley are definitely one of those role models that I look up to for how you do everything correctly. And I can never be more proud of you both.
Thank you. Seriously, like, stuff like that means more to me than, like, anything. Like, people that I've taken under my wing that I love. Like, I'm talking about love. Like, Kylie from Haunted Hippie, Celise from Sweet and Spooky, you know, like, they texted me Happy Father's Day. You know what I mean? Like, I when Kylie was on vacation overseas, I would text her, like, once a week, like, hey, is everything okay? Are you doing all right? You know, like, there's a lot of people that call Ashley and I the mom and dad of the horror community, and I wear that as a badge of honor. There's nothing that could make me more proud in this community than that. You know, I want to be someone that people can look up to. I want to be someone that's easily approachable. I want our whole content, I want everything we do to be a safe space for everybody. I want everybody to feel welcome. And it's like, that's all we've ever wanted, was for people to feel like they belong with us and feel accepted with us. And any female that's been on the channel can attest to this. When I'm about to do my first horror movie with a female, I ask them before the camera starts rolling, does being called beautiful make you uncomfortable, or make you feel awkward? If they say yes, okay. And I tell them, like, I'm not going to be a creep, but I always start off with, today I'm joined by the beautiful blah, blah, blah. As a husband, as a father of 2 young ladies, I want to make sure that doesn't make you uncomfortable. So if you'd rather me say something else, I will. And I've had a couple people be like, yeah, it's not really my thing. So today I'm joined by the amazing. Today I'm joined by the awesome. You know, like, just doing little things like that can go a long way, just by showing another human being respect before I do any interview with anybody. What are your pronouns? Your preferred pronouns? Like what would you like for me to call you? Who you are is who I need to respect. I would never want to disrespect somebody and make them feel smaller than me. Little things like that, I feel like just go a long way in showing people that you genuinely care about them. You know, like, yeah, you're coming on my channel to talk about the first horror movie, and this is my channel, but this is your episode, and I want this to be just as special to you as it is to me.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude. And that's we can relate to that as well, because like we definitely want to make everyone we bring onto like either real talk or on Good Real Hunting, that's always our main number one focus is comfortability, because if they're not comfortable, we're not going to get the best out of them. So I can easily understand, and again, that's a test to you and how you present yourself and how you run your channel. Gain a little inspiration from that as well.
I hope people do. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot to just be nice and be kind. It's harder to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, it's harder to be a jerk to people than it is to just be genuine and kind. So just do what comes naturally. Be nice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Plus, like the creativity of being an asshole will run out pretty quickly too. But Ken, I got one more question for you. And I know my buddy Brad over here has got some fun questions for you. Like, I'm the more serious one, and Brad brings all the fun. But hey, you know what? Two balances into one makes a perfect team. So one last question for you. I know we're edging on to 10K subscribers, which first off, incredible for you to, like, y'all are getting there. Like, I know you're going to get there by the end of the year, so I cannot wait to wish you a happy 10K. But with upcoming to 10K, there are a lot of videos you and Ashley both did. So let me ask you, I know this is going to be a hard question. Do you or Ash, do y'all have like a favorite project or like a favorite video you all have ever done together?
Yes, it's not out yet. It comes out July 1st. Again, don't get me wrong. Every single episode I've done is special to me. Super special. Every single person I've had on my first horror movie, I remember their first horror movie. Every single person I've had on anything means the world to me. The best episode we've ever done comes out July 1st. I don't know when this airs. So maybe it's out.
Oh, it will be before July the 1st. So what? Nice little sneak in for promoting right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Ashley came up with a new idea, and it's called Villain of the Month. And the first of every month, she does a deep dive into a villain that's been voted on. And I have nothing to do with this. This is all Ashley. This is Ashley's baby. This is my first horror movie. You know, I do nothing but editing on this. And she came to me with the first episode, which was Michael Myers. Is the very first episode. Comes out July 1st, and it blew me away. Like, I was editing it, and I was like, "Damn! Like, this is awesome!" Like, and then putting the clips on, making sure everything looked perfect. Like, I genuinely think it's the best thing we've ever done on the channel. From pacing, because I think the episode's like 9 minutes, so it's not like a slog to get through. Everything, like, not just the pacing of the episode, but the pacing of her speech, the way that she lets me put the clips in without even like she didn't even tell me what clips were in it. She just came and she's like, "Hey, I have this idea." I was like, "Do it." She was like, "Well, do you want to read this?" No, do it. And I'll figure it all out later. You go do it. I'm very excited. So she comes to me with our audio recorder. She comes to me with the videos. Here you go. Edit them and let me see it. And as I'm editing it, dude, I swear to God, it's like dad tears of pride. Like, that's my wife. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's hands down the best thing we've ever done on the channel. Super proud of it. When it comes to segments, obviously my first horror movie is always going to be special to me. Always. Yeah. But In Defense Of is my favorite, where we bring a guest on and they defend a movie that's not very popular in the horror genre. That's my favorite. Like, we've done Halloween Resurrection, The Human Centipede, Poltergeist 3, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Takes Manhattan, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. It's so much fun. And it's even more fun because obviously we have to go back and rewatch these episodes, or these movies, I mean. You know, when someone comes to us, we're not just gonna be like, "Oh, well, we'll wing it." No, when someone comes to us like, "Hey, we're gonna, defend this movie," all right, let's go back and rewatch it. We find positives that maybe we missed last time, or like hearing people and how excited they are about this movie, even if we don't like it. Like, hearing their excitement is like, man, maybe I should, go back and rewatch this again just to pick up on things that I missed. So that's my favorite. I think Ashley would tell you the same. We get really excited when we schedule and in defense of. Like, we're always super stoked when we have the opportunity to work with someone on those.
Well, let's dive into that for a second. What's your favorite in defense episode that you've done those far? Like, what was the biggest surprise where you're like, damn, I actually do, like, I love the shit out of this movie, or something.
Well, like Brad, that's easy. It's gonna be Jason Takes Manhattan, man. It's your favorite.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh god,
leave. No, actually, it was the very first episode we did. Brett's gone. And funny enough, Ashley was like, okay, I'm not doing this episode with you. And she was serious. She's like, I'm not doing it because I hate this movie and I can't bring myself to find anything positive about it. And it was me and Josh, the drummer from Coheed and Cambria again. I only figured he started my first horror movie. He should start in defense of. And we did Jason Goes to Hell, which is my favorite in the Friday the 13th franchise. It's his favorite in the Friday the 13th franchise. And like me and him, again, we're so connected on this movie. And I think that movie's so special. And I could go on a 2-hour rant on why that movie's amazing. Everything from, like, when we were kids on the playground, like, what did we say? Why don't they throw Jason in lava or blow him to pieces? They start this movie off by blowing him to pieces. They do what we wanted them to do by the teeter-totter, man. Like, and they go and do that shit. And then, like, the grossness of, like, the heart. And then, like, the Evil Dead references, like you have the Necronomicon, you have the blade, the Kandarian dagger. That's what kills Jason, man. It's a Kandarian dagger. They couldn't say it. And, like, Adam Marcus, this was the first movie he directed, guys. Like, the first thing he ever directed as a kid. They're like, hey, here's a script for a Jason movie. And Sean Cunningham's exact words were, get that hockey mask out of my effing movie. That's what he's told this kid, 19-year-old kid. And this is what he came up with, man. And, like, the scene where they go in the diner, it's right out of Terminator, man. People are getting thrown over the counter. You have these gunfights, this big monster that's walking in. And then what about, like, when Jason, when he finally gets the worm, goes into the other Voorhees and he pops up through that floor, dude. And you're just like, oh my God, he's here. It's like when Kane comes through the mat, that's Kane. He's here. Oh God. You Jim Ross it the minute that Jason jumps through that floor. And
it was Kane.
Right. It was Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
And this is a genuine story. This is not me being funny. This is not me making it up. If she was still here with us, she would tell you the story. The first time I ever got grounded was because of Jason Goes to Hell, because everybody I would talk to, I'd be like, listen, at the end of this movie, Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy Krueger's glove takes Jason's mask down to hell. And my mom would be like, that's cool. I'm like, Mom, I don't think you get this. Freddy Krueger's glove is in a Jason movie. Like, that to me, like, blew my mind, man. 94, so I was 8 years old, blew my mind. Like, I was just, like, blown away by the idea of what was going on in this movie. And man, again, sorry to go on a rant there, but
I was about to say, like that's how you got grounded. It wasn't because of the famous tent scene that that breaks VHSs everywhere.
Yeah, which is funny because, like, we even talk about it in the episode. Like, if you go back, obviously, as kids, see, I'm 38 now, guys. I have 2 daughters. I'm a little bit of a different person now than I was when I was 10. You would always pause there because you wanted to see the boobies. Like, that's what we did. But you paused at the wrong time, and you seen that she was already ripped in half. And, like, we all thought, me and my cousins were like, hey, she's already broken. What the hell? But I still see her boobies. Like, it was one of those things. And, like, I swear to God, like, I was like, I'm always going to have a condom with me. Jason killed him because they threw that condom out of the tent. And that's why
they threw it
out. Like, he's going to let him know what's going on. Like, so, yeah, that movie, I don't know. Like, there's something about that movie to me that is just so smart. It's such a smart movie because, like I said, Adam Marcus, you have a 19-year-old kid. His hands are tied. I don't want that hockey mask in my movie. Figure it out. So what's he do? He calls Sam Raimi because he couldn't use the Necronomicon. They didn't own the rights to that. Sam Raimi gave him his personal copy of the Necronomicon to put on the table in the movie. Steven comes up and he picks it up and starts looking at it. They can't acknowledge it. They can't say the name, but there they are looking at it. And it completely confirms the fact that Jason is a Deadite. Jason is a part of the Evil Dead universe. And he gets killed by the Kandarian dagger. Like, it's so cool. Brilliant, man, the way that he did that. Like, that is literally that planted the seeds for Jason versus Freddy versus Ash. Those seeds were planted in Jason Goes to Hell, and it's just like, oh man, it's so amazing. Oh, it's so good. So good.
let's not forget about Creighton Duke here too. I mean, classic character of the franchise. Yeah, the GOAT, right?
Dude. He's the easily the best in the franchise, man. With Steve, he's like, let me see your hand. He breaks his finger. He's like,
it always makes me pop my knuckles. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, every time. Yeah, I actually just popped my pinky as Creighton Duke even got mentioned. I was like, oh, got to do honorary break.
Yep.
There we go.
And he starts freaking. He loves it.
Creighton Duke would be like a great Netflix 10 episodic series because you imagine like Creighton Duke hunts Jason, Creighton Duke hunts Michael Myers, Creighton Duke hunts the Candyman. Like you could do like this episodic, like horror movie bounty hunter. You know what I mean? Like just that hunts down horror villains
or Creighton Duke could be the Deadpool of the MCU now.
Oh, dude, he
basically
could.
Just throw him out there, man. He can bounty hunt some shit. He's like Boba Fett. You know, he's just out there freaking catching people, catching bad guys. It's great. I love it. Yeah. No, I love that you dig it, man. I think that's awesome. That'd be a fun episode of yours to check out for sure, because I can tell you love it and you're pumped up about it and you dig the hell out of the movie. So I think that's really cool. I've definitely I've met some people in our time, Birdie, that have liked Jason Goes to Hell, and I've met some people that have said a few nice things. I've never met anybody so excited about it as you, and I love that. I think that's cool.
Love it.
Because I grew up watching that too, because when it came out, I was still young, but it's one of the few to come out after I was born. So,
Ken knows I have it dead last, but like I'm sure an argument will be coming in the future for it. But the one thing in Ken, I respect the hell out of you of just saying, hey, Jason Goes to Hell is my favorite. Like, dude, like I don't judge you for that at all. I think that's so interesting that because here on Good Real Hunting and Real Talk, we love different opinions.
That's how it should be. If we all have the same opinion, there'd be no reason for us to do this. It'd be boring.
And I think it makes it worthwhile for Adam Marcus to make such a divisive film, just because there's people out there that actually do really love it. And I think that's cool.
That's one of the very few episodes in my first horror movie where I was genuinely super nervous. Like when I had Adam Marcus on, because I didn't want to like fangirl too much. I didn't want to seem like I was overselling. Like, how like some people like, oh, I love your stuff. And like, they really don't. Like, I didn't want to seem like that. So I was just like, yeah, dude, Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Then after the interview was over, I was like, I got to let you know, dude. And I started listing off the things and he was like, damn, okay. And I was like, yes, I love this movie, man, for real. I mean, you get Kane Hodder saying, Jason guy is nothing but a big old pussy. Like, that's great to me, man. Like, this year was the first year that Ashley and I were guests at Astronomicon. We were media guests up there. And Kane Hodder was one of the guests. And we were closing up on Saturday. And, we're talking to Kane. Like, he's just sitting there. And I was like, hey, we'd like to do an interview with you tomorrow, if that's okay. Just a couple questions. He was like, yeah, absolutely. No problem. And we just sat there and talked, and this was off the record, like no mics, no cameras, no nothing. We sat there and talked to Kane Hodder for probably 20 minutes, just about life and movies. And he is one of the sweetest guys in the entire universe. So all the credit, all the flowers go to him. And he was so welcoming. Like Ashley she's the one that interviewed him for our Astronomicon video on our channel. And he was like so welcoming and kind to her. And like the day before that when we left, she was like, hey, can I be the one to interview Kane? I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Absolutely. That'd be super rad. Cause Kane was also in House, my favorite movie of all time. So
okay.
It was really cool to be able to hang out with him and talk to him about House as well. And he told me certain moments in the movie where you can see it's him as Roger Cobb and not William Catt. So it's pretty cool to pick those moments out now. And I'm like, I see it.
Hell yeah.
That's cool, dude. That's that. I mean, I love that. So you just said that House was your favorite. I know you said too, that you started being a horror fan, like when you were 5 or, somewhere in that ballpark. What was that first movie for you? House. For the people that it was so that makes sense why it would be your favorite then. Yeah.
My grandma, me and my grandma would watch that movie. I mean, technically, my first horror movie was Ghostbusters. But as a kid, it didn't put that fear in me. You know what I mean? Like to me, it was more like funny, stuff. Even like the gnarly scenes, like the librarian or like the couch, like that stuff. It didn't do anything to me as a kid. When I watched House for the first time, like that was the first time I ever remember like feeling fear. You know,
Yeah.
like even that opening jump scare where the grocery boy walks in and Mrs. Hooper has hanged herself, and you get that loud violin swell and like the jump scare right there. I just remember like almost pissing my pants as a little kid. Like I had never seen anything like that.
Yeah,
and
good at that.
Oh my God, man. It's to this day. It's my favorite horror movie. It was my first horror movie. I don't think anything will ever top House 1985 for me.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. That's that's cool. Cause yeah, I'm sure you wore it out as a kid, you know, when you get into something like that.
The VHS out, bro.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I know the feeling, man. That's awesome.
If I couldn't choose House, and this may surprise some people, the movie that I think has really done the most for me, and it's a fairly recent movie. It's from 2018. Little flick called Summer of '84.
Yeah, great one. Yeah, I like that.
We actually mentioned that on I think from a previous live stream we did.
Yeah, like last week, I think it came up.
Yeah, for a double feature.
That movie. That's the only movie I've ever reviewed on Sledgehammer Horror that I've given 5 skulls to. The only 5-skull review I've ever given. I see no problems with that movie. I think it's perfect. I think that is a perfect horror movie. It's the only thing that's ever come close to upsetting House. I mean, it's just like everything about that movie is so nostalgic to me, and you know what I mean. Like I remember that stuff. Like I really felt like a kid, and I'm not going to spoil it because if anybody here hasn't seen Summer of '84, I implore you to go watch Summer of '84. It's such a fantastic movie with one of the most dark, despair-ridden endings you'll ever see in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. Oh God, the whole movie is so damn good.
The ending's fantastic.
Well, Matt Leslie, the guy that wrote and directed that, just wrote Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2.
The second. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, that
no wonder I liked it.
Yeah, I was like,
it was kind of funky, right?
So much sense. Like it makes so much sense. And like the quality of writing is so much better in 2 than it was in 1. So
because that was the first thing I noticed, and that makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, he was fantastic. All right, so here's what I got to ask. Okay, Jason Goes to Hell, you love it. Halloween Resurrection, you dig it. Are there any of those popular movies out there that you don't like that other people maybe do? Trick or Treat. Is that the one, Birdie? Is that the
with Sam?
Is that the one with the anthology, right?
Yep.
I haven't seen it in a
No.
while.
I know, dude. I get that reaction all the time. I watch it every Halloween. We have a tradition. My son is 16, so he kind of does his own thing now. But my daughters are 12 and 4. And every year we go to Spirit Halloween. We get them their Sam suckers. We come home and we watch Trick or Treat together. And every year I'm like, this is going to be the year I finally like this movie, man. Because it has everything that I love. It's got werewolves. It's an anthology. It's got a great villain in Sam. It's got that Halloween vibe to it. It's got a lot of very feminist moments where, females are the badasses in the movie. There's the twist of the teacher, like there's so many things that I should love. And I don't. I want to. Like, I really genuinely want to like that movie. And I just can't. No matter how hard I try, I can't get into it. I would love to see a prequel with Sam, like learning how Sam became Sam. I think that could be super dope. But again, Ashley loves it. My girls love it. I can't get into it no matter how hard I try.
Oh man.
Is it just you don't dig the stories, I guess? Maybe is that kind of
I think that's part of it. I think it's kind of a little bit of a slower pace. Some of the acting is not very good throughout the movie. I don't know. I can't even like nail down what the exact thing is, but it's like Starbucks, man. I'm like, listen, I just want a black coffee, and you're Starbucks. You can make me a good black coffee. Bullshit. No matter how many times I try it, it's still disgusting. Give me a Dunkin' Donuts black coffee. Give me a gas station black coffee, for God's sake.
You know what? I'll do you one better. I'll give you a Twin Peaks black coffee.
Never had it, so I will try it.
Yeah.
Well, it's from a TV show I'm watching lately that Destiny and Jamie Hart got me hooked on. And that's one of the jokes in the movie. This is the best damn cup of black coffee I've ever had. You definitely need to try
Hart.
one.
Love Jamie.
Yeah, we love Jamie on our. We love Jamie.
Good coffee, man. That's fantastic. Okay, so going back to like your creation of the channel and stuff with Ashley. Were you guys both horror fans like always? Did you get her into it?
No, always been our first date was to go see Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds. That was the
oh nice.
And
I remember
the
that.
first time I went back to her house, I went to her room in the basement. Didn't get lucky. Stupid prude. No, we were at her parents' house, so no, that didn't happen. But she did have a People Under the Stairs poster on her bedroom wall, and I was like, I'm going to marry this one.
Yeah.
You know? To this day, still her favorite horror movie. Ashley's favorite horror movie is The People Under the Stairs, and I knew then. I was like, she's special. There's something special about her because, like, I've always, even before, because me and Ashley were friends for years before we got together. You know, like we were friend zoned each other. Like we never even thought of each other like that. Like we were genuinely just like best friends. And one thing I always loved and respected about her, even when she was just my friend, she never wore uniforms, man. Like that wasn't her. Like I was punk rock, so I would wear like the leather jacket and I'd have the green Liberty spikes and I got the tattoos, you know, the punk rock tattoo. And, you know, like I love horror movies. I wear horror movie shirts and, you know, all that shit, that's me, you know, like, but, you know, people could tell. You look at Ashley and she just doesn't give a fuck. Like she wears what she likes, like the preppy stuff, I guess. So people would always be like, you like horror, you know, because she's this beautiful blonde, you know, wearing a Paris Hilton jumpsuit and you know, the jumpsuits that Paris Hilton wore in House of Wax, she had like those in every single fucking color, bro. Like with the zip up hood, like the zip up hoodie one with the jumpsuit, like she had all of them. And so people like, you like punk rock, you like emo music, like what kind of emo, like Fall Out Boy? She'd be like, oh, like Last Days of April and Death Cab for Cutie. And people would look like the cartoon dog from Looney Tunes, like, oh, you know, like he knows her shit. Oh my God. You know, but she just didn't wear the uniform. That's something I always respected about her. She was always just Ashley. That was it. You know, it wasn't like I have to dress like this because I listen to this type of music, or I have to dress like this because I like horror movies. She's always just been Ashley. And it's something I've loved and admired and respected about her, even before we were in a relationship with each other.
What's going on, everybody? I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge, and let's talk horror.
Today we want to welcome everyone to Sledgehammer Horror and reintroduce ourselves to everyone that already knows us. First off, we want to talk about some of the segments we do, like My First Horror Movie, where we bring on a guest to talk about the first horror movie they watched, what it meant to them, and how it affected them.
We also do a segment called Didn't See That Coming, where we take a movie with a twist and talk about how the twist affected us, as well as Versus, where we take an original versus a remake. We talk about similarities and differences and which one we like more and why. We have a segment called In Defense Of, which is my favorite right now, where we bring guests on and they defend a movie that really isn't liked in the community that much, and tell everybody why it's so important, why they should probably check it out again. Also, once a week we do a live. We do out of theater reactions. We do trailer reactions.
Top 10s.
Top 10s, yeah.
We try to do a little bit of everything so that we can make everybody happy. We've also recently curated our playlist. So if you want to watch all episodes of a certain segment, they're really easy to find. If you want to see all of Ashley's solo reviews, watch Ashley's reviews right here. If you want to see all the reviews we've done together, watch Ken and Ashley's review playlist right here. Or if you can't decide and you want to watch all the reviews, just watch the Sledgehammer Reviews playlist right here, so on and so forth. We also have our merch store. That is open. You can click the link down in the description. Get yourself some of your very own Sledgehammer Horror merch. It really does help the channel a lot more than you know. And this year we're doing a lot more on-location videos. So you can see a lot more of us at cons. We're going to go to some haunted locations in Michigan later this year we're very excited about. So we can't wait for you guys to come along for the ride with us.
Yeah, and last but not least, become a member now. You are a special member to us, and you get video shout-outs. You become featured on our channel. There's a lot of perks to being members.
And you get every single review we do at least a week early.
You do.
So you get early membership. So you get every video early. You will love that. You get to talk about them before everybody else knows how we feel about these movies. So if you haven't already, guys, please like and subscribe. It helps to build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are down in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
That's a cool sign. You know, if you get down there, you see a poster like that, you're like, oh, hell yeah, man, we got something in common. That's all right. That's cool, man. Well, I got one other thing I was going to do real quick. So I had a list that I was going to do of some good movies. And then you gave me a better idea when you started talking about all the bad ones that you like. So I think this is going to be more fun. So I'm going to give you 8 flicks. And if you need me to repeat the list, I can do that because I know, again, you can't read it. So it's going to be hard. And of these 8 flicks, I want you to keep 4 of them and I want you to cut 4 of them. So 4 of them you have to get rid of for good. 4 you get to keep. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to go Leatherface. We're going to go Jason Goes to Hell. We're going to go Human Centipede. We're going to go Halloween Resurrection. We're going to go Freddy's Dead. And we're going to go Jason Takes Manhattan. We're going to go Halloween 5. And we're going to go Seed of Chucky. Now, I know you may not like all of these, but I'm curious to know which ones that you would scrap and which ones that you would keep.
I am going to get rid of the Human Centipede, Jason Takes Manhattan, Freddy's Dead, and Halloween 5. And I am going to keep, with confidence, Leatherface, Jason Goes to Hell, Halloween Resurrection, and Seed of Chucky. With confidence. Halloween Resurrection, so much fun. I have so much fun when I watch that movie. Let's get this Dangertainment started in this mother.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop you here for a minute. Did Chad pay you to say that? Because Chad pays everybody to say that. Oh, it's ahead of its time. No, we give Chad so much shit every time. So
see, and I do agree that it's ahead of its time, but that's not what I dig about the movie, man. Like, we were entering a phase where like horror was just getting wonky, and they went right into it. They leaned right into it. They knew it was ridiculous that it was a frickin' paramedic that Michael Myers killed. They knew that was ridiculous. So what do? Let's make this as goofy as we can. Let's have Busta Rhymes watch Kung Fu movies to teach himself how to do Kung Fu to take out Michael Myers in the 3rd act. You know, like, but again, some of the kills, like that tripod kill, great. Love that kill. Like, it's so slow. And the beheading kill where her head just falls down the stairs.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff, she never got ahead of life.
Katie Head Off is what they call her.
Right. So, like, I think that there's a lot of great moments in that movie. You knew Jason Goes to Hell was going to stay on here. I don't really like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. So I think that's why I like Leatherface 2017 so much, because it's not a Texas Chainsaw movie.
Makes sense if you're
the only thing I dislike about that movie is the ending. Bub should have been Leatherface. Making the pretty boy Leatherface was stupid. That was stupid. Not every movie needs a twist. Sometimes the common sense thing is the right thing to do. But I love that movie. Like that curb stomp on the tree, like the diner massacre. Like, oh, dude. Like, again, it's not a Texas Chainsaw movie. It's not do your thing, cuz. You know,
oh, come on. I love that so much.
If I did the same list with Birdie, dude, it would be a different ball game for sure.
Yeah. Well, now I got to give Seed of Chucky its flowers too, man, because is it the worst in that franchise? For sure. It absolutely is. The kills are top notch. Every kill in that movie is amazing. You know, like Redman getting eviscerated at the table. John Waters getting his face melted off with the acid. You know, like there's my biggest qualm with Seed of Chucky is the trans representation is terrible. The way, again, they were trying to do something that wasn't a hot button topic at the time, and they were trying to do it to the best of their ability. Obviously, Don Mancini is a homosexual man. Good for you. You know, you were trying to bring light to something. You just did it in a little bit too goofy of a way. You know, all that you piss in your pants, like all that stuff was just a little ridiculous.
And plus, again, it was also like for Halloween Resurrection, it was kind of a little bit ahead of its time too. I feel like if it was made today, way more effective.
Sure. But I think the representation, like they did in the Chucky TV series, the representation of Glenn and Glenda was so much better in the Chucky TV series than it was in Seed of Chucky. Now, it's hard for me, man, because Freddy's Dead, my uncle took me to see that in 3D. The movie's god-awful. Okay, I get it. The movie's terrible. But my uncle took me to see it in 3D when I was a kid in the movie theater. And, like, seeing Freddy Krueger play with the Nintendo glove, you know, the power glove. Like, now you're playing with power. I was like, damn right you are, but don't try to play Nintendo with this thing. It's a piece of shit. You know, like, and seeing, like, when Freddy gets blown up, kids, and he gets blown up and all those worm things come flying at your face in 3D. Like, it's nostalgic for me, man. Halloween 5 is not a bad movie. I have a lot of fun with Halloween 5. Cookie Woman, man. Come on.
Cookie Woman.
Cookie Woman?
How do you not want the Cookie Woman? And then you talk about the Human Centipede. I think the first Human Centipede, the first sequence, is an art film. It is, yeah, you have the one scene of them all together. Most of that has been embellished in media, like the South Park episode of not reading the iPads. You have the Human Centipede, but a lot of that movie is just genuinely scary and dark. And yeah, you get those disgusting moments, but overall, it has nothing to do with the actual centipede itself. And then you get to like the second sequence, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is gross. But that first Human Centipede movie, it really is more of an art film to me than it is like a shock film. Kind of like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me is more of I don't think that movie is a slasher whatsoever. I think it's an art film. They went into his house. That's not a slasher to me. They went in his house and he was like, I protect this house. Here's a hammer. As we must protect this house. On, he definitely goes hunting a little bit, but that first Texas Chainsaw movie, if that was made today, that would be a A24 film for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, absolutely.
I
agree.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I do remember it being slower than I expected. Not in a bad way, but like as far as like
a lot of that movie is focused on the movie starts off on that wide shot of the grave with the body on top of the grave, and a lot of it, it's real like the animal bones and the cinematography, and they try really hard like for the artsy side of things, and it's a beautifully shot movie that just happens to be a grotesque and disgusting subject matter. But I even remember that movie being so much gorier and bloodier than it is. Like when I went back and rewatched it for the first time from a kid, as a kid, I thought that movie was gross. Like it was bloody and gory. I went back and rewatched it and I had made it so much worse in my memory than it actually was. Franklin was still a douchebag, but like it wasn't as bloody and gory as I remembered it being.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just remember that guy saying, "Shit, I have to shit." That's literally the only thing I remember from the movie. So I probably need to go ahead and give it a rewatch just to get caught back up on it. But yeah, I mean, I do remember it being kind of like what you're saying though.
All right, man. So, Ken, we're going to go to this next part here where we give the guests the opportunity to ask us one question. So this is a little segment we call that the interviewer becomes the interviewee. So, Ken, take it away, my friend.
All right. 2024 has been very, very hit or miss, especially with horror movies. Now, with the selection of horror movies that we've had so far, halfway through the year, what is each of your favorite horror film from 2024 and why?
Brad, you can go first because I need to double check my list.
So far for me, it's The First Omen, and nothing has really. I would say Late Night with the Devil's pretty close too, but I like The First Omen a lot. I like how it adds to like I've never even been like a huge Omen fan. Like I've seen the first movie, like the original one, a couple times, but it's not one that I revisit all too often. But when I watched this one, it made me want to go back and put that one on right away. I didn't necessarily do it that day because I didn't have time, but I wanted to. And I like a prequel that can do that. There's very few that really add so much to the original movie. Make that movie better, make it to where you want to watch it whenever you finish up the prequel. And I thought this one did it fantastically. I love the setting. And I watched this. It came out like a couple weeks after Immaculate. Very similar movies, but I thought this one was, and I liked Immaculate too, but I thought this one was a little bit better. I thought the characters were better. I thought, the scares were better. There's a sense of dread in there. We're kind of counting down to this birth of Damien throughout the movie. So I like that a lot. Plus, there's some gnarly gore in there. There's some good. There's some really. They paid homage to the original Omen really well with a couple of kills in there.
And plus,
so I was about to say.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I did not expect.
I don't remember it happening like that.
Yeah, I did not expect to see that when I went into the theater that day. Took me by surprise. I love the hell out of it. It's I want to watch it again. It's on Hulu now, I think, so I need to give it another go. But so far, that's my number one horror movie of the year.
Okay.
All right, and for me, Brad's going all dark and serious over there. I like to have a little bit more fun, and gosh almighty, I thought this movie was going to be fun, but I had so much fun with this movie. For me right now, my favorite horror movie of this year is Abigail. Talk about just all the cast and the crew, you could just tell they were having the time of their lives. Dan Stevens can do no wrong in any movie that I ever watched him in. He is fantastic. Catherine Newton, she's always going to nail whatever you give her. And I thought Lisa Frankenstein was her best movie from this year because I really like that movie. So it's kind of disheartening to see people not really take up to that movie. I feel like in 10 years from now, Lisa Frankenstein's going to get a cult following. But I think Catherine Newton does a good job. But the star of the show, I never thought I could say this, Melissa Barrera, absolutely knocked it out of the park because I always thought she would be chained to the Scream franchise. I was like, oh, nothing she's going to do is ever going to top Scream. Bam, she freaking nails it in this one. She was just a badass. The way she is covered in blood at the end just looks, excuse my French here, but like super hot. Like just makes me shoot Melissa right up my crush list. Like absolutely. But yeah, she absolutely nailed that role. And that was the moment to me that like Melissa Barrera is more in the Scream franchise. So definitely give Abigail number 1. But I want to do a special shout out to my number 2. It's a low-key horror film that's on Tubi. It's a Tubi original called Low Lives. If you have not seen it, absolutely give that movie a watch. That was suggested by a good friend of the channel, Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema Reviews. He brought light to that movie with us, and we had a great time watching that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So damn, Ken, great question there. Like, because we love talking about like the movies this year. Plus, we're about to do like our kind of like our ranking of the midway part of it. So hey, nice little warm up right there for you. So thank you so much for asking that question. So we're gonna bring back the fun to you because this is going to be one of our popular things that we like to do on this show. Let's go ahead. Let's heat up that hot seat of yours. Let's go to the fire segment.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby! I'm on fire! Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Help me, Tom Cruise! Oh, help me, Oprah Winfrey!
I love that.
Winfrey.
Help me, Oprah Winfrey. You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. But Brad, before I just start to quote the whole movie, do you want to explain the rules of the fire segment?
I do, yeah. So we're just going to ask, we're going to put a minute and a half on the clock. We're going to alternate questions, and we're just going to ask you, they're quick questions. We're looking for one-word responses. Yeah, most of them are going to be yes, no, either or, just something you can answer with one word. Goal is to get through as many as we can in a minute and a half. Not that there's any prizes if you get through more than the last person, but still, it's all good fun. We're having a good time with it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So, Brad, do you want to go first on your questions? Because I think it's supposed to be, it's your turn.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can do that.
Great. So, Kim, whenever you're ready, I will start the clock.
I'm good to go.
All right, here we go.
What's your favorite horror franchise?
Child's Play.
Detroit Lions or Detroit Tigers?
Tigers.
The Shining or Dr. Sleep?
Dr. Sleep.
Chicago-style pizza, Detroit-style pizza, or New York-style pizza?
Chicago-style pizza.
Rose the Hat or Jack Torrance?
Rose the Hat.
Your biggest horror ick?
SA.
Let's go with the favorite wrestler of all time.
Shawn Michaels.
Your movie
by Matt Riddle.
Your movie theater snack order?
I always sneak in blueberries and raspberries. I don't like sugar.
I like it. Psychological horror or gore?
Psychological.
Freddy's Dead 3D effects or Jaws 3D effects?
Freddy's Dead. Oh, Freddy's Dead.
Favorite horror villain?
Chucky.
Power to see into the future or power to change the past?
See into the future.
Favorite wrestling match of all time?
Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3.
Oh, man. Underrated horror movie?
The Dark and the Wicked.
Best jump scare?
The Lawnmower in Sinister.
Overrated horror movie?
Trick or Treat.
Damn it, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that, man. We're definitely wanting to bring you back on. Like we'll do like a couple episode, like kind of like we've done with like that horror couple, and the one we're going to do here in 2 episodes from now with Fear Freaks, as they approach their 100th episode with Bray and Destiny together doing their show. So we would love to have you and Ashley come on together. I understand she just wasn't available tonight, which hey, that's perfectly fine. We will either love to have her on for an individual episode in the future, or just have you both on again. We would definitely love to have you all back.
Yeah. Ashley really wanted to be here tonight, but she works 3rd shift. She's a respiratory therapist, a real life superhero. On top of all the other amazing things she does in life, she also saves people's lives. It's fucking insane. So yeah, she really wanted to be here, but work, unfortunately.
No, hey, you know what? I always tell everybody, work comes first. So, like family and work always come first because again, we do this for a hobby. So absolutely. So, Ken, before we really end everything in the nice little bow, I need a big important answer from you. So, this is like for our last 2 episodes, like we have done this certain thing. We're now making it an official segment, but we're going to be calling this now the brownie counter. Yeah, so the brownie counter is pretty much, or another word for it is the Great Brownie Debate. And we kept a tally so far of this brownie counter here. And so far, we have 3 people for our guests that we had on Real Talk go with the inner piece with 3, and then the edge piece with 2. So, Ken, now it is up to you to add your vote into this great brownie debate for the brownie counter. So we're going to have to ask you the last question, and then we will wrap everything up. Do you like the middle part of the brownie, or do you like the edge piece of the brownie?
I said it earlier. I am not a sugar guy. I don't like sweets. But if I'm going to have a piece of brownie, I got to go with the inner part. I don't want that crunchy ass crust.
Oh, God.
Give me that inner piece, man. Like, give me a little bit of chocolate sauce on there, a little bit of whipped cream, maybe some marshmallow fluff. Because if I'm going to eat some sweets, I'm going to go all out on the sweets. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to cheat and I'm going to have a little bit of sugar, I'm going to go all out with the sugar.
Ken, we definitely want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us, talking or just having real conversations. So just for our listeners and watchers, where can they find Sledgehammer Horror?
You can find us on YouTube at Sledgehammer Horror, Instagram, Facebook Threads at Sledgehammer Horror, and Twitter, X at Sledgehammer Horror, HOR. I think we have a TikTok somewhere. I don't know. I don't do anything with that. But yeah, mostly YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all your social media platforms at Sledgehammer Horror.
Awesome. And all that will also be in the description on YouTube, and then the description of all the podcasts and all that. And Brad, where can listeners or watchers of this particular episode, where can they find us, dude?
Well, you can help us find the good reels and all the descriptions down below, in the description below. All of our socials are down there. We're on, for this particular show, Real Talk, we're on Spotify, Apple Podbean, you said, Birdie, all those as well. Yeah. So you can check us out there, and the YouTube podcast section as well.
Hell yeah, dude. So we're gonna go ahead and close it out for this chapter. But don't worry, there's gonna be a whole nother chapter for Sledgehammer Horror over here on Real Talk when we bring on Ashley back with Ken, or just have Ashley on for an individual episode or whatever. We will work out the details.
I hope that you guys, I loved being with you guys, and I would join you anytime, but I would love to see an episode of just you guys and Ashley. I love when Ashley's able to shine. You know what I mean? 'Cause I talk too much. You know what I mean?
No, that's awesome. That's what, when you talked about her, we gotta have her on for an individual episode because she sounds like the coolest person.
She's so amazing, man. She's genuinely perfect.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. So, but hey, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Ken, thank you so much yet again. Brad, thank you for doing and suck it, Brad, for the brownie counter 4-2, motherfucker. So we are gonna go ahead.
The bigger the lead, the bigger the comeback, Birdie. So you gotta remember.
Double the pride, double the fall. But hey, we're going to go ahead and get out here. So guys, we will see you all for episode 4 when we bring on the Mantra, special guest, a special patron of ours, because he got to do something for a cool opportunity. And we want to make shine on him and have a real conversation with him. So that'll be episode 4. So until then, we will see you all for the next one. Enjoy. Have a good day, or good day, good evening, and good night.
Hell yeah.